What if I told you that the most powerful way to win a breakup isn't found in chasing, begging, or proving your worth, but in becoming completely untouchable? A woman expects you to shatter when she walks away. She expects tears, desperate calls, and sleepless nights filled with regret. She expects you to orbit her world even after she's gone. But imagine if you didn't. Imagine if instead of collapsing, you rose, calm, silent, unmoved. That is the essence of Stoicism, and it is the deepest fear hidden in her subconscious. The fear that you will no longer care. This is the story of a man betrayed by the one he loved. His heart is broken, yes, but instead of allowing grief to destroy him, he steps into the ancient wisdom of the Stoics, men who endured loss, death, and exile without bending. And alongside that wisdom, he sharpens his resolve with the precision of dark psychology. He learns the truth. The one who controls his emotions controls the game. Understand this. Your pain is not weakness. Your silence is not absence. Your indifference is not emptiness. These are the sharpest blades in your arsenal. When you refuse to react, you force her to feel the void she created. She expects drama. She expects collapse. Instead, she meets the cold, unshakable presence of a man who cannot be broken, and it is that presence, the void of your attention, that plants regret in her mind like a seed that will grow with time. Think about it. Every message you don't send, every tear you don't show, every ounce of self-respect you reclaim, these things echo louder than any words you could ever speak. Because in the silence, she starts to wonder. In your composure, she sees strength she never saw before. And in your detachment, she feels the sting of losing something she cannot control. This is not about bitterness. It's not about revenge. It's about transformation. The Stoic man doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He doesn't collapse into chaos. He stands in stillness, mastering himself. And in doing so, he flips the entire dynamic. He no longer plays the role of the abandoned. He becomes the man who chose to rise. So if you're tired of breakups leaving you broken, if you're ready to learn how silence becomes power, how composure becomes attraction, and how detachment makes her question everything, then listen closely, because today I will show you how to use Stoicism and dark psychology to win the breakup. Not by chasing her, but by mastering yourself. If you're ready to rise above heartbreak, if you're ready to learn the ancient art of emotional power, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Pain is my teacher. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The power of emotional control. The first step to winning the breakup is mastering the battlefield of your own emotions. Because the man who cannot rule himself will always be ruled by others. Think about it. When she walked away, what did she expect? Tears, pleas, the late-night text saying you can't live without her. She expected you to collapse because that collapse would feed her ego. It would confirm that she still had control, even in her absence. But the Stoic man responds differently. He feels the pain, yes, but he refuses to perform it. Instead, he channels it inward, forging calm in the fire. Because emotions, once displayed, are weapons handed over to the enemy. If you lash out, she feels powerful. If you beg, she feels justified. If you spiral, she feels superior. But when you stay unmoved, when your silence stretches into days, weeks, months, you create the most dangerous question in her mind. Why isn't he broken? This is the essence of emotional control. The world may burn around you, but you remain composed. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Translation: she cannot hurt you unless you hand her the power. And here's where dark psychology comes in. Humans crave reactions. When you don't give her the drama she expects, her mind begins to turn against her. She starts replaying the breakup, dissecting it, wondering if she miscalculated. Your composure becomes a mirror, forcing her to see her own choices without the comfort of your collapse. The silence eats at her. The calm unnerves her. Because the strongest signal a man can send after heartbreak is not anger, not grief, but indifference. Understand this: emotional control is not suppression, it's transformation. You feel the pain, but instead of leaking it out in weakness, you refine it into strength. You let it sculpt your body, sharpen your mind, and deepen your focus. Each day you refuse to react, you build a fortress around your spirit. And in that fortress, she cannot reach you. This is the beginning of power. The man who governs his emotions is the man who wins, not just the breakup, but every battle that life puts before him. Number 2, detachment as a weapon. If emotional control is the shield, detachment is the sword. Nothing unsettles a woman more than realizing she no longer has power over your attention. Because attention is currency. It's the most valuable thing you give her. When she had it, she felt rich, desired, validated. But the moment you withdraw it, the moment you no longer look her way, speak her name, or seek her approval, you've taken back every ounce of value she thought she owned. Detachment is not coldness for the sake of cruelty, it is discipline. It's the conscious decision to no longer chain your happiness to someone else's choices. A Stoic does not cling, because clinging is weakness, and weakness invites control. Instead, the Stoic man says, if you leave, go. If you stay, good. Either way, I remain whole. That mindset disarms her completely, because she expected you to fight for her validation. When you don't, she begins to fight for yours. Here's the dark psychology of it. Absence creates curiosity, and curiosity breeds desire. When you vanish from her world, not in anger, not in pettiness, but in complete composure, her mind begins to chase the silence. She wonders where you went, she wonders why you stopped caring, and the more she wonders, the more she replays the past. That replaying is torment, because suddenly you are not the man begging at her feet. You are the man living above her reach. Think of it like this. Fire dies without oxygen. Her power dies without your attention. The less you feed it, the quicker it fades. Detachment makes you untouchable. It communicates on a primal level that you do not need. And when a man doesn't need, he becomes irresistible, because neediness repels, while independence attracts. Understand this. Detachment is not about erasing her, it's about elevating yourself. You stop measuring your worth by whether she returns, and instead measure it by how disciplined you remain. And in that discipline, you transform. You become the one who walked away without moving, the one she thought she left, but who in truth left her first. Number 3, reframing the breakup. Most men see a breakup as the end. The Stoic sees it as the beginning. Pain has a way of blinding us, making us believe we've lost everything. But the truth is, loss is often the greatest teacher. The difference lies in how you frame it. If you see heartbreak as destruction, you'll crumble. But if you see it as transformation, you'll rise stronger than before. Reframing is one of the most powerful Stoic tools. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." The breakup itself isn't the enemy, it's the meaning you give it. Most men tell themselves, "She was my everything, and now I am nothing." That thought alone chains them to suffering. The Stoic flips it. "She left, and now I am free to become more than I ever was." This is where dark psychology deepens the game. When you transform your suffering into growth, when you hit the gym harder, work with sharper focus, and radiate a new energy, you force her to confront a brutal reality. She didn't break you, she built you. What was meant to crush you becomes the very fire that forges you, and nothing haunts a woman more than watching a man evolve into something greater without her. Imagine this. She sees you months later, calm, sharper, stronger, thriving. She expected wreckage. Instead, she finds resilience. That image alone rewrites the story in her head. She thought she ended you, but in truth, she only redirected you, and that realization plants regret deeper than any words could. Reframing the breakup is not denial, it's mastery. It's refusing to see yourself as a victim, and instead embracing yourself as the author of a new chapter. You decide the narrative, and the narrative is this: you didn't lose her, you found yourself. Number 4. The silent treatment and its psychology. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. After a breakup, most men make the same fatal mistake. They chase. They text long paragraphs. They beg for closure. They try to remind her of the good times. And every time they do, they hand her the upper hand. She doesn't even need to wonder how you're doing, because you're already telling her over and over that you're broken. The Stoic man chooses differently. He understands that silence is power. He doesn't explain himself, doesn't argue, doesn't plead. He withdraws completely. Why? Because silence is unsettling. Humans are wired to expect a response. When it doesn't come, the mind begins to turn inward. She starts asking questions. Why hasn't he reached out? Is he really over me? Was I not important enough to leave a scar? That spiral begins the moment you close your mouth and step away. From a dark psychology perspective, the silent treatment isn't just absence, it's presence in disguise. Your silence becomes louder than any words you could say. She feels it when she scrolls through her phone at night and doesn't see your name. She feels it when mutual friends mention you but can't quite explain your calm. Every second of your silence forces her to wrestle with her own thoughts, and thoughts, unchecked, become her torment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." When she expected begging, you gave her stillness. When she expected drama, you gave her detachment. That refusal to engage is not just restraint, it's dominance. Because the one who does not speak, the one who does not react, controls the frame. Never underestimate this. Silence flips the power dynamic. It shifts you from the man chasing validation to the man who appears untouchable. It says, without words, I no longer need you to define me. And nothing unsettles the human mind more than realizing it has lost control. Number 5. Building the unshakable frame. Every man lives within a frame, a lens through which he sees the world and through which the world sees him. But here's the truth. Most men don't hold their own frame. They bend it to fit a woman's moods, her desires, her approval. And when the breakup comes, their entire sense of identity shatters because their frame was never theirs to begin with. The Stoic man builds differently. His frame is unshakable because it rests on his principles, not on her presence. He does not live to please, he lives to stand. He does not bend his values to hold on to someone afraid of losing him. And when she leaves, his frame doesn't crack. It becomes even more visible. She sees a man who is not moved by her withdrawal because his identity was never dependent on her validation. This is where dark psychology sharpens the lesson. Frame is magnetic. When a man refuses to bend, it creates a paradox in the mind of the one who left. She expects desperation, but meets discipline. She expects collapse, but meets composure. That resistance makes her reevaluate, because human beings crave what they cannot sway. And nothing is harder to sway than a man anchored in his own world. Understand this. Frame is not arrogance, it's sovereignty. It's walking into every room, every situation, with the calm certainty that you are enough as you are. It's being the mountain that does not move while the storm rages around it. That energy draws people in, even as it repels control. When you build this frame, you stop asking, "How do I win her back?" Instead, you begin asking, "How do I honor my principles?" And ironically, the moment you stop bending for her is often the moment she begins to bend toward you. Because influence flows to the one who stands firm, not the one who collapses. To win the breakup, you must master this truth. A man who cannot be moved is a man who cannot be broken. And once you embody that frame, regret follows her like a shadow. Number 6. Self-improvement as revenge. The greatest revenge after a breakup is not words. It's not arguments. It's not even proving her wrong. The greatest revenge is undeniable transformation, because nothing unsettles a woman more than realizing the man she left has evolved into someone far greater than the man she knew. Most men waste the aftermath drowning in self-pity, numbing themselves, or obsessing over what she's doing.